Hi, Chef Wu Can here. How are you today? Today is Friday, the beginning of the weekend, and I want to start off the weekend right by making you and showing you how to make one of your favorite dishes, if you haven't already tried it, beef with broccoli. Now, beef with broccoli is fresh broccoli and beautiful beef. Now, I usually use flank steak. That's a very tender cut of beef. But because it's so tender, it's very, very expensive. All right. So eventually, when prices do come down, and hopefully the price of flank steak will come down, it'll be more reasonable to consider. But right now, it's at $7.99 a pound. And for beef with broccoli, it's not really practical. So the next best thing is London broil. And that's the top round cut. And for that, the whole key here is cutting it thin, marinating it prior to cooking, and basically allow that marinade to make it more tender, make the beef more tender, the London broil more tender. And how do we do this? Okay. So I'll show you how to slice it, but I want to show you what the ingredients are that we're going to use. We're going to use fresh garlic. I'm going to smash it, obviously. The marinade will have granulated garlic powder, a little white pepper, a little cornstarch, a little Shaoxing wine. Now, this is not the container for Shaoxing wine, but it's Shaoxing wine inside. And a little soy sauce. And all those flavors, ingredients together, will marinate the London broil. And we'll marinate it for 15 minutes. But in preparation for doing that, we have to slice the beef. So please watch me. All right, so here's the London broil. Now we can use this kind of knife. It's very sharp, and most people probably have it. Or we can use the cleaver. Now this is a one-piece high carbon steel cleaver. Now it's multifaceted in terms of you chop it, you can lean it against your knuckle to get nice even slices, and then you can actually pick it up and then place it in a container. So we'll use this, all right? So basically what we're gonna do here is we'll cut it in half. And this half will be for like 2 people. Now, what we're gonna do here is gonna cut it at an angle against the grain. The grain is going this way. We want to cut it this way. So, if we're going to cut it this way, then the length is going to be this long, and we don't want that. We don't want big pieces. Okay? So what we're going to do is, as I had shown you before, you use the crab claw, hold the meat down, let your knuckles be exposed, take the cleaver, lean it against your knuckle, and as you come down, move forward at a 45-degree angle. So, you got a lot, each slice, you got a lot of surface area. It's very thin. That's what you want. Remember that you have to have uniform slices. So it will cook evenly. And when you have it at the 45-degree angle, you get a lot of surface area, which leaves a lot of room for the flavor. Alright, so the slices are being cut. So you want uniform slices. So we'll stick it here in the bowl. And we'll cut the second piece. So usually the first piece will be a chunk. So you want basically surface area cut. So the more the angle, the nice surface area. Uniform slices will cook evenly. And you just have to be careful that a sharp knife is a better knife than a dull knife. So all the meat will be put into the container here. And we'll marinate by adding Shaoxing wine, soy sauce. Shaoxing wine is about 2 tablespoons. Soy sauce, around 2 tablespoons. Garlic powder, a sprinkle. White pepper, a sprinkle. And cornstarch, about a half tablespoon. And basically we're going to marinate it. You may ask why white pepper. I think white pepper is a little bit more potent than regular black pepper. The cornstarch will seal in the flavors into the meat and will also help create a gravy. But we might want to add a little bit more cornstarch. So now it's a full tablespoon. Okay, this is marinated, so we'll stick this in the refrigerator for like 15 minutes. So the process now is going to be a 2-stage process. We marinated the beef, now we just have to cook the broccoli. So basically we want to blanch the broccoli. So let's prepare the broccoli here. So we'll take the regular knife, we'll cut off the end, and we'll cut off the stem. Now, many people will take the stem and throw it away, but this is just as good as meat. So we'll just trim the outer layer of the skin. It's a little tougher. So basically you're not wasting it. And then we'll just cut it in slices. So where you otherwise would throw it away, you can actually use it. Now we'll take the florets. Now, to make things go a little bit further, you may want to cut the floret in half. So we could do that with the big pieces. Here's a reasonably sized, cut in half. So we have our broccoli florets cut. Put those away. Let me rinse it. So what we're going to do with the florets is blanch it. We're not going to fully cook it because we'll be stir frying it with the beef, so you don't want it to be overcooked. And so when you blanch it, we always look for the emerald green color. The emerald green color is just perfect. It's al dente. Once it turns emerald green, then we'll run it under cold water, which will stop the cooking process. Okay? And that's what you want. So once we combine it with the beef, it'll be cooled, it will have stopped cooking, and it will still be crunchy. And you want that emerald green color. Anything past the emerald green, like putrid green, it's overcooked. And so if it's overcooked before you throw the beef in, once you put the beef in and you stir fry, it's going to be mush. And you don't want that. So a lot of restaurants, they blanch it, set it aside. Okay? So while we're doing that, we'll prepare the garlic. So in the actual stir fry, rather than use garlic powder, and the garlic powder would be only used for the marinade, but the fresh garlic will be used for the stir fry. So lay the garlic down, and with the flat end of the cleaver, smash it. And then chop it. Okay. Now we'll take the broccoli and throw it into the water. Stir it. Remember, emerald green color. Obviously, The broccoli crowns are smaller, so it will be cooked quicker, or blanched quicker. If it's obviously a big broccoli crown, it will take a little longer. Take it out. We'll run on cold water. And this process will cool the broccoli. Okay. So now let's cook the beef. Obviously, it's cooled. Okay. So we have the drained broccoli from the ice. Now we'll add oil. That's about 3 tablespoons of oil. In terms of what kind of oil, I use canola oil. But at this stage right now, canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil. Do not use olive oil. It has a high flash point. It will smoke up the house. All right? So what we do is we heat up the wok first, then we add the oil. Now we'll add the beef. Now you don't want to cook the beef fully at this stage. Then we'll add the garlic. Now, the sauces that we'll use is hoisin sauce, garlic powder, a little bit if you want, obviously white powder. The same ingredients you use to marinate. A major component will be oyster sauce. This is called dark soy sauce. Although it says soy sauce, it's not really soy sauce. It's more for coloring. With Asian cuisine, as you all know, when you order the meals, it looks very presentable. So when you cook beef, obviously you'll get a grayish color. Doesn't look very appetizing, so they do add a little bit of the dark soy sauce to get a nice richer color. And then we'll make the slurry solution. This dish is considered a southern style dish. Obviously it all started in the West Coast. So the flavor is going to be milder. And they tend to have a lot more gravy. Add a little Shaoxing wine. We'll add a little bit of white pepper. We'll add a little bit of hoisin sauce. Dash. Oyster sauce. A dash. That's about 2 tablespoons of each. Dark soy sauce. We'll add a little bit. And then soy sauce. We'll add about a tablespoon. We'll add some water. And we'll mix it up. We'll add a little bit more water. We tend to like a little bit more gravy with this favorite dish. Obviously on the stove top it's a little differently. Obviously with a butane stove it takes a little bit longer. So we'll thicken up the gravy once the meat is ready. We'll taste it. It's perfect. The cornstarch that was used in the marinade will also thicken it up a little bit. It helps it out a little bit. So the sauce is it's a little runny right now, so we'll maybe add a little bit more. Now when you make the slurry sauce, some of the cornstarch will settle to the bottom, so you're going to have to stir it with your finger. You don't want it to be too thick because then it will taste pasty. So you just do the testing in terms of how you like it. Okay. Taste it again. Nice thickness. Very good. Now we'll put the broccoli in. Mash it all together. By throwing in the broccoli, you're basically going to heat it up a little bit, just a little bit. It doesn't require further cooking. Now, we'll take a piece of the meat, flank steak, taste it. Good texture. Very tender. Now, scoop it out. Here's your beef with broccoli. Simple, easy, maybe no more than 15 minutes, including prep. 1, 2, 3. If you don't have all the sauces, all you really would need is the oyster sauce, Shaoxing wine, a little bit of soy sauce. White pepper may not be readily available, and a little hoisin sauce. Why? Like I said before, when you have salty, you always want a sweet. Hoisin sauce is the sweet. Oyster sauce is the salty. You can work with those three sauces, but if you did have the white powder, that'd be great. The dark soy sauce, if you're looking from a cosmetic standpoint, would also be helpful to make it look rich brown color. So I would say that for the London broil, you use half of it for 2 people. Maybe one crown, one piece of the broccoli for 2 people. But if you have 4 people, you can use the whole London broil and 2 pieces of this. And here it is. Okay. Now we'll try some. And we'll use a little brown rice. Now brown rice is the rice with the hull on it. It has more fiber. It doesn't say it's more calories. It just has more fiber in it. So this is always better for you. It has a nutty flavor. And the white rice is without the hull. It may not be as nutritious, but everything in moderation is okay. So we'll take this. We'll take a piece of the broccoli, piece of the beef, some of the sauce, and this is the broccoli. Nice morsel. Still has a crunch. That's what you want. The beef. More surface area, thin, marinated. Perfect. Gravy. Perfect. So, I know it's easy to say, pick up the phone, call your favorite takeout restaurant, Get the beef with broccoli. But essentially, this is the same thing that they're doing, that I do here, is what they do in the restaurant on a bigger scale. They may add a little bit more salt, a little bit more oil to make it more flavorful and more shiny. But at least you know what kind of meat you're using. You use the broccoli. Two-step phase, cook the broccoli, then ditch it in cold water. Make sure you get that emerald green color before you ditch it in cold water to stop the cooking. The beef, they do the same thing. Thin slices at a 45-degree angle. Marinate it. Cornstarch, soy sauce, white pepper, garlic salt, garlic powder, a tablespoon of cornstarch. Mix it all together. Let it sit in the refrigerator for 15 minutes. Take it out. You're ready. Heat up the wok. Add the oil. Throw the beef in. Add the crushed garlic. Now the crushed garlic, I'm using fresh garlic. I know that a lot of manufacturers are crushing the garlic for you and they're adding fresh water, and that tends to be, you lose a little bit of flavor. Although it's quick and easy, I'd rather just take the garlic, smash it myself, and use it. You get better flavor from that. Saute the beef. Now you don't want medium rare, especially when you're using London broil, especially in this dish. It goes better when it's fully cooked, believe it or not. Although, you know, London broil on the barbecue is a little different. You could have it on medium rare, that's fine. But for this dish, they want to make it more small pieces, more morsels. And if you did want to try it, not fully cooked, and wanted to have it at medium rare, you could try it, but it might be a little chewier. So I'm trying to avoid that. This is rather good. And I'll add another piece of broccoli. Add another piece of beef. Another piece of beef with sauce on it. And obviously, traditionally we have a bowl. Here's my chopsticks. So maybe I'll give you a separate video on how to use chopsticks. But see, it's already cut, nice morsels. Broccoli. And the rice. Now, once you know how to do this, instead of beef, you can use shrimp. So you basically blanch the shrimp, like you blanch the broccoli. Doesn't take too long. And then you basically combine everything together all at once. You don't have to cook the shrimp. As a matter of fact, the shrimp would be last after you blanch it. So that's it. So if you like the notification, if you like my video on beef with broccoli, please subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be notified of all future videos that I make. And give me a thumbs up if you can. Also, I have 2 other links. My own website, chefwucan.com. I'm a restaurant critic and food blogger. And in that website, there'll be articles that I've written, some simple, easy recipes. Obviously, we'll have other YouTube videos listed. And the other one is chefwucancollection.etsy.com. And with that, I'll have, especially with the summer here, a lot of condiments. One is a crunchy garlic chili oil relish. And another one is spicy honey, which is using raw honey, which is organic. And you can apply that to anything that you eat, whether it's a soup, on the crunchy chili oil relish, or on your pizza, your hamburgers, or your barbecue chicken, on fried chicken, your beef. And the honey goes on anything that's a little salty. There's an even balance there. So it's Chef Wucan collection.etsy.com. All right. And obviously, if Chef Wucan you can too. So I hope I make you comfortable. I mean, I do make mistakes. Obviously, I may forget something, so I just want to make you feel at ease, and I hope that how I convey my instructions and how I demonstrate things are a little bit easier to understand. And but I do appreciate it. I love cooking, and I'm looking forward to making other dishes. Obviously, I think I had scheduled to make a Peking duck, but I'm going to use the duck breast. That's for tomorrow. All right, that's really easy. It's really delicious. If you ever had it before, it's wonderful. And there's a story behind how actual Peking duck is made, because the way that we serve it here in the States is very different than how they do it traditionally in China. So when you go visit China, you expect Peking duck to be a certain way, and in reality, it's a different way, and it's pretty interesting too. So thank you for coming. Tell your friends. It's very important that you tell your friends about me. YouTube Chef Wu Can is only one. And hopefully we'll grow from here. I appreciate the number of subscribers have increased dramatically. And let's keep on going. Let's get a lot more views. So I do appreciate everything you've done. So thank you very much, and come back again. If Chef Wu can, you can too. Thank you. And I always welcome your comments. It's always a great help too. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.